What is the Epiphany? We know biblically 3 wise men came from the east to pay homage to the Saviour. Epiphany is described by some as the manifestation of God appearing as the baby Jesus, and the world being made aware of this. When Herod heard the news, he was worried that his kingdom was about to be usurped. Fear drove him to persecute the children in Bethlehem, when the wise men failed to return to him with the child's location. In Matthew's Gospel, the wise men are warned in a dream not to return to Herod, but to go home a different route. Paul tells the Ephesians he has been sent to bring the good news to the pagans, because they also inherit the promise given to the Jews. All of humanity is given the same promise, as we are part of the same body. Paul initially persecuted Christianity, wrongly believing that only the Jews had been chosen to be saved. The glory of God, though rising in Jerusalem, is calling to all of us. Jesus wants to be our Saviour and is calling us to follow him, just as he did the disciples. Each of the 12 were in the middle of their regular day's work, some fishing, others collecting taxes, and so on. But once they heard the message, their world changed. The disciples knew they had to drop everything and follow Jesus. We all have a story of how Jesus called us. This can happen many times. Samuel, as a boy, heard someone call. He ran to Eli and shouted, "Here I am." Initially, the boy Samuel thought it was Eli, but the old man realized it was God calling the child. Is God calling you? Many of us were brought into Christianity by our parents, who followed the traditions of their church. They ensured their children were baptized as babies. Later in school, the children were encouraged to go to confession, receive communion, and then later be confirmed. My parents did the same for me. However, going to church was disrupted as we moved to different villages. At the age of 9, we moved to Yardley Hastings in Northamptonshire. I went to a Church of England primary school and enjoyed the assemblies because of the stories about Jesus. My sister and I started to attend Sunday school. After 2 years, we began to be prepared for confirmation. I had lots of questions and worried about forgetting the creed. As I walked towards the bishop, my mind was dizzy with concerns. Then within me, I sensed something say, "Don't worry, you'll be okay next time." I thought this was strange, as you only get confirmed once. In my 20s, I was confirmed a second time, a year after being accepted into the Catholic Church. After moving to Drummond and living there for a few years, work suddenly became scarce. I commuted to Birmingham to teach media production at a university about 20 years ago. My sister and her friend heard about an Alpha course being run near their home. They were nervous about going, so I said I'd join them. Those attending were from various denominations and none. Nothing was forced on anyone. The sessions were basically opportunities for everyone to discuss in a safe place what they knew about Christianity, if at all. The format was simple. We were greeted at the hall door, given a meal, and had a chat with those who were there. Once the meal was over, we watched a video talk, which lasted about 20 minutes, and then we had time for a discussion. Everyone was encouraged to contribute and have their say. There was no wrong or right answer, but the questions were encouraged to open discussion. This was a chance to explore Christianity from our perspectives. These were not lectures, but discussions facilitated by the leader. The first week posed the question, is there more to life than this? I'm sure at times all of us have asked this question. It is part of our searching for meaning in life. The second week, we were asked, who is Jesus? This was a good discussion because many of us had different ideas about Jesus. We all learnt something new. Over the past 2 decades, I've attended 7 Alpha courses and have discovered something new in each one. Jesus is calling me again, but this time to run a course. It's a bit nerve-wracking as it's hard to know what to expect. Then again, like at my first confirmation, I am being told not to worry. It's not up to me. That's the exciting thing. My first session will be on Thursday the 15th of February 2024 in the Parish Hall in Jonesborough at 7:30 p.m. If you'd like to explore what Christianity is about, why not join me on this initial 11-week journey? Just come along to the first night to see what happens. If you don't want to go on your own, bring a friend. Your experience is just as meaningful as everyone else's, and we'd love to hear what you have to say.